The police are there, fully armed with full force. There's vans. There were even two nyalas. On top of that, there was a water cannon that was sprayed onto people. So we don't know why the police would wait for this week to open a case against us for something that they were there and they were present for, full present. They could have acted upon if they felt we were being violent.
Lastly, an Eritrean man convicted of running a human trafficking ring in which migrants were tortured has been sentenced to 20 years in jail by a court in the Netherlands. Emmanuel Walid was accused of spearheading a group that trafficked migrants to Europe via Libya. The BBC's Tom Bailey.
The court in the Dutch city of Zwolle heard harrowing testimony of how victims were detained in overcrowded camps in Libya before being exploited and tortured. Some were attacked while on the phone to their families, who were then forced to pay money to stop the abuse. Many victims were later put on small boats to make the perilous crossing of the Mediterranean. The case was heard in the Netherlands as many of the victims and their families now reside there. Prosecutors described Walid as one of the most prolific smugglers on the route from conflict-torn regions of Africa to Europe and said he had treated migrants without any humanity.
Recapping on your top stories, UNICEF and the European Union have joined forces to respond to the devastating floods in Mozambique, which have affected over 650,000 people since December. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Tsinzi.
that a lot of people are damaged prior to their parenting experience. They have issues, they have problems that they don't even realize. And the risk, however, for us as society is that they pass it on. Now, when they pass it on to an individual who then becomes involved with another individual who something has been passed on to as well, then they come together and it's not the most positive experience. So the first step really is awareness, it's recognition of pain, recognition of problems, acknowledgement that something is actually not quite right. I mean, thinking of the um, childhood condition, the congenital insensitivity to pain, and there are people who are physically, because of nerve damage and problems in their bodies, they're unable to feel pain. Now, that person is not likely to immediately seek help because they're not even aware something's broken, something's damaged. So if we juxtapose that with somebody who does not even realize that there are issues in their own lives, then they will continue to hurt and bleed on the people they're supposedly in love with. So we want to help people come to this understanding. So the conference is not, it's not about blaming, it's not about shaming, it's not about going through or reliving the pain. It's about awareness, it's about understanding and answering important questions like, what happened to me? How did I get there? And when you arrive at that point and you acknowledge that actually something is not right, then you can begin to find your way back.
Well, there's two words that stand out for me in this kind of conversation. And the first word is reflection. The second word is unlearning. And it sounds like these are the two things that are at the beginning and the end of, trying to create or learn this new relationship dynamic. How is the reflection aspect of this, factored in, and why is it important?
So it's important because that's where you come to realization. If you're able to quieten down every voice and answer those questions that are true to you, if you're able to find your authentic self, because every time you're exposed to trauma, there is a distance put between you and your authentic self. And you find that when you act out as a response to trauma, you move further and further away. And when that has existed for so long, you get to the point that you don't know who you were to begin with. So finding that original person, that authentic you, comes from a place of reflection. It's when you're able to sit still, you won't put tools in the hands of people and go through identification markers, letting them come to terms with events that have happened and have shaped them. And we do that in a reflective space. I'm creating room that is safe, that is empowering, that is encouraging and supportive, non-judgmental. It's not again about shaming. It's not about saying, well, you laid your bed and then you must lie on it. No, it's a supportive space where people will be allowed to reflect and think back to what must have occurred and go through that process of identifying the actual trigger, the event that may have resulted in what it is that they're experiencing now. When they're able to draw those parallels, then they can begin to move forward.
All right, Desola, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back, continue speaking about these trauma truths, love lies, and of course the conversations that will be taking place at the Heart of Steering Your Next Chapter conference. Stay with us on the line.
Africa, meet Abedi.
Yeah, that's me.
Abedi is a music lover through and through.
I really love African music.
He's got a taste for all kinds of tunes and spends his days listening to Channel Africa. Guess what? He didn't know.
Okay.
Channel Africa wants to help Abedi and all music lovers everywhere to discover even more incredible music. That is why Channel Africa is calling on all African musicians to submit their music. Musicians, remember to give us all your relevant information. Make your submissions at music@channelafrica.co.za. Submissions are your chance to be heard on radio. But sadly, they do not guarantee that you will be playlisted. All submissions will be carefully reviewed to see if they meet our station's requirement. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Benjamin Mushatama and Palesa Tau on the move.
All right, we're reflecting on this conversation about relationships, looking at a conference titled Steering Your Next Chapter with the theme Trauma, Truths and Love Lies. We're still joined on the line by Desola Sosan, who's a family life coach and one of the organizers and speakers of this particular conference. Well, before we went on the break, Desola, we spoke about the reflection aspect of the conference, really reflecting on your own trauma truths and your love lies. But what happens in between the reflection and the unlearning process?
Right. So there will be three specific sections in the conference. There'll be three speakers, including myself, like you said. The first speaker would be unwrapping the subject of trauma truths, and their specific angle is how trauma shapes our beliefs, our behaviors, and attachment. And when you look at the attachment theory in itself, it is tracing back to childhood, how a person forms connections with people that they trust. All right, experiences that they've had, and what that attachment looks like, what it symbolizes, what their behaviors now would match up to that they must have experienced as a child, and then coming to that place of knowledge. And then the second session will be love lies and how they cost us connection. So again, it is about doing a bit of digging, doing a bit of awareness, and recognizing those cultural, familial myths about love, identifying hyper independence, why a person might think, oh, they don't need anybody, and how those love lies tend to reinforce our trauma responses. Then we have a reflection exercise embedded in that, which is about naming those beliefs that block intimacy. And then we go into the session, which is mainly about healing and is about from survival to security, helping them learn that a capacity to build emotional availability. So it's recognizing what secure attachment looks like, which is the preferred attachment, and then developing it. And I hope I've not suggested that this is for people who are looking for love. This is for everybody. It's about appreciating that we are in some way or form victims of our history, victims of the people who raised us, people who engineered us, who had the initial influence in our lives. And when we grow, then it is about taking responsibility. We can't keep saying, oh, well, I was broken, I was damaged, that's the way I am. You're not supposed to stay there. I like to say you're not a tree. If you're not planted, then you can move. So we go into that session about healing. We talk about tools for boundaries, communication, and emotional presence. And we go into scenario planning. We reframe those survival strategies and we remodel them, reshape them into connection choices.
I love that you mentioned that, this conference isn't just for those who are more romantically inclined, so romantic relationships. Can you briefly tell me how these trauma truths and love lies also influence other parts of our lives as well? Because I'm sure the past traumas that we have, even within the relationship spectrum, still influence things outside of the romantic aspects of our relationships and our lives.
Oh, definitely, definitely. There are real world relationship challenges everywhere we turn because as humans, we're social animals. We connect with people. We desire connection. Like the average person, we desire a different amount of affection. We desire attention. We relate with people in different spaces at work, as siblings. We have familiar relationships everywhere we turn. And one of the indicators where you would see that a person actually might have challenges is building those connections. So they're in a space if a person leans more towards being a lone wolf than connecting with others. It might be worth exploring what is it that has brought you to that place. Is it a past experience? Quite a lot is traceable back to childhood trauma. To be honest, if a person cannot handle conflict, they have no words for communication. They're not assertive. They're constantly shying away. They're not happy about something, but they can't state it. If they state it, they escalate rather than have a conversation. Those might be indications that the person actually needs to be here. So in whichever way you look at it, everywhere we turn, we are relational beings. And if we're not able to make those connections, then it's something that is worth unpacking.
Yeah. I think personally, when I'm looking at this, the unlearning process is the hardest because, we've learned our behavioral patterns through the trauma truths and the love lies, but also through our lived experiences as we navigate the world as well. Is it as difficult as I think it is, the unlearning process? And how, through the conference, are you going to help people sort of move towards that unlearning so they can start learning healthier ways to relate with themselves and with others?
You're absolutely right. Unlearning is challenging. It's difficult. As humans, we are wired to repeat behavior. And the more you do it, the more competent you get at it. You get to a point where you have unconscious competence. I mean, thinking about a very good driver, you're not thinking about where you're turning, you're not thinking about what to do. You're unconsciously competent at it. And it's a behavioral thing. Our brain is actually designed to support us to become unconsciously competent. You give it something to do, you do it enough times, it becomes a habit, and you're not even aware of it anymore. And that's why this awareness is important. And we are going to help people realize that you have developed unconscious competence at certain behaviors, and this is how it's affecting your relationships. And then you need to begin to find your way back beyond talking, beyond these exercises, beyond these sessions. We're going to create that continuous space. All the speakers are practitioners in their own right, and then we're going to have access to them to be able to pick up on certain things that people want to take forward. It's easier to go back to patterns than to create new ones, but it is possible. It has been done. It is continuously being done, and it is for people to get to that point where they say enough. I am finally tired of this situation and I want to begin to find my way back. So it's about helping them develop the insight to moving from the space that they're at to intentional relationship. And the title of the conference is about steering your next chapter. It's about you taking responsibility and taking ownership and then moving forward. Yes, it will be challenging, and it's not to suggest that it won't, but is it possible? Is it valuable? Is it something that will benefit you? If you come to that understanding, then you can begin to take advantage of the emotional support that is helpful and that is available to help you move towards healing.
Incredible. Desola, tell us a little bit more about this conference. Where will it be taking place? How can people participate in it? And where can we go to follow up on news about it?
Fantastic. So it will be taking place on the 7th of February. Your local time, let me just confirm. Your local time is at 1 o'clock on the 7th of February, 1 to 5. It's a 4-hour virtual conference. It's available on Zoom. I believe you have the promo materials. There's a QR code there, and the link to register is on there as well. And it's quite straightforward. Register, you get a Zoom link straight away, and you can join the conference. The speakers are myself, Deshola Shoson. You can find me on Instagram. Type in Deshola Shoson, you will find me. The details are on there. The link to sign up is also in my bio. Aya Lawrence is speaking there as well. She's a trauma specialist and an addiction specialist as well. Mm-hmm. She can be accessed with her name on social media, Instagram as well. And then our third speaker, who is a mental health practitioner, is Shane Daudu, and you can find him on Instagram as well.
Desola, thank you so much for your time. Really incredible conference, I think, and information that we all really need to know and things we need to understand about ourselves to have healthy relations in the future. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That is Desola Shoson, a family life coach, one of the founders and speakers of Steering Your Next Chapter conference with the theme Trauma Truths and Love Lies. It's 9:30 Central Africa time. To let us know what you think about this one, go to our WhatsApp line +2783 288 6684. Let's get our latest sports news.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
And it's a very good morning, from the sports desk. We'll start with football news. AS FAR Rabat will step onto the global stage for the very first time on Wednesday. That's when they face the reigning European champions Arsenal in a FIFA Women's Champions Cup, a historic occasion that pits Africa's standard bearers against one of the most formidable sides in world football. Now, the Moroccan champions will make their debut in the competition at Brentford Stadium, where the draw has handed them a stern as possible introduction. Arsenal, winners of the UEFA Women's Champions League, represent the highest level of the women's game and present also an immediate and uncompromising challenge for the Rabat-based side. So AS FAR arrive at this moment as one of the most established as well as respected forces in African women's football. Well, the 2030 Men's World Cup final will be held in Spain. That's according to the president of the country's football federation. So Spain, Portugal and Morocco are co-hosting the tournament, while the opening 3 matches will be played in Uruguay, Argentina and Paraguay to mark the competition's 100th anniversary. Morocco has expressed interest in staging the final, by Spanish Football Federation chief Rafael Luzan said Spain has proven its organizational capacity over many years. Now, Real Madrid's Santiago Bernabeu Stadium as well as Barcelona's Nou Camp are viewed as the leading candidates to host the match, but Luzan provided no further details. Meanwhile, Morocco wants to stage the final in Casablanca at the Grand Stade Hassan II, which is due to be completed in 2028 and is expected to host 115,000 people. Fifth seed Elina Rybakina booked her place in the Australian Open semi-finals on Wednesday with a dominant second set display to hand 6-time Grand Slam champion Iga Swiatek a 7-5, 6-1 defeat at Melbourne Park. So looking to lift the trophy for the very first time, the 28-year-old will take on Jessica Pegula for a place in Saturday's final.
Yeah, really pleased with the win. Thank you so much for supporting, coming. It's really a nice atmosphere. We know each other pretty well, and I was just trying to stay aggressive, and I feel like in the first set for both of us, the first serve was not really working, so we were trying to step in on the second serve, put pressure on each other, and I think in the second I just started to play more free, served better, and I'm just really happy with the win.
Meanwhile, world number 1 Carlos Alcaraz has reached the Australian Open semi-finals for the first time in his career. The Spaniard beat 6th seed Alex de Minaur of Australia 7-5, 6-2, 6-1 in Tuesday's quarterfinal, extending his perfect record against the Australian to 6-love. Alcaraz, who has yet to drop a set at this year's tournament, will face the 3rd seed Alexander Zverev of Germany in the last 4. Meanwhile, Coco Gauff has called for more privacy for players after being filmed smashing a racket following her Australian Open quarterfinal defeat to Elina Svitolina. Gauff, beaten 6-1 and 6-2 in under an hour, said she had tried to suppress her emotions until away from the public view, but criticized behind-the-scenes footage being broadcast on television and social media.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, I know myself, and I don't want to lash out on my team. They're good people. They don't deserve that. And I know I'm emotional. So, I just took the minute to go and do that. And, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like I said, I don't try to do it on court in front of kids and things like that. But I do know I need to let out that emotion. Otherwise, I'm just going to be snappy with the people around me. And I don't want to do that because, like I said, they don't deserve it. They did their best. I did mine. Just need to let the frustration out.
And finally, in some golf news, 5-time major winner Brooks Koepka says Tiger Woods was the first person he called to discuss a return to the PGA Tour after leaving Live Golf. Koepka joined the lucrative Saudi Arabian-backed Live Series in 2022, but left in December with 1 year left on his contract. The 35-year-old has since rejoined the PGA Tour under a new returning member program and admitted he was nervous as he prepared for his first event back on the series at this week's Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. And that's a wrap from the Sports Desk at this hour. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, do send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Musibudi Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
The whole population of Africa has been shocked to the depth of its soul.
For 60 years, Channel Africa has been the voice that connects the continent, telling our stories and sharing our vision with the world. This year, we mark 6 decades of broadcast excellence.
60 years of stories, sound, and connection.
6 years of African conversations that matter.
This is 60 years of broadcast excellence.
Broadcast excellence, rooted in Africa's heartbeat and looking boldly into the future. Join Channel Africa as we celebrate 60 years of broadcasting. Still strong, still vibrant, and still giving you the African perspective.
Channel Africa.
Thank you, Musibudi. Let's move on and get our latest business news.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Thank you, Palesa. Good morning. A London court has heard that more than $2.746 million was spent at a luxury department store, Harrods, on behalf of a then Nigerian oil minister accused of accepting bribes from industry figures interested in government contracts. Diazani Alison Madueke is alleged to have been provided with a life of luxury in the UK, including the use of a multi-million pound properties, travel by private jet, and a $137,000 in cash. Other benefits she allegedly received included $6.3 million spent on refurbishing properties in London and Buckinghamshire. The Angolan Finance Ministry says the country's extension of a $1 billion debt facility with JP Morgan included the partial replacement of the collateral bond with a higher rated one, resulting in a reduction of the collateral by $200 million. The Southern African nation said earlier this month it had agreed with JP Morgan a 3-year extension of the initial 1-year derivative contract known as a total return swap and secured an extra $500 million in financing. The partial replacement of the collateral with a higher rated bond cut the collateral amount to $1.7 billion from the initial $1.9 billion. In other news, the Executive Board of the International Monetary Fund has approved the 6th and final review of Zambia's extended credit facility, paving the way for a disbursement of $190 million. The country reached a $1.3 billion financing agreement with the IMF in 2022 to support the economy as it navigated its way out of a debt default before it was later expanded to $1.7 billion. IMF's Deputy Managing Director Nigel Clark says despite external and domestic shocks, Zambia has significantly reduced macroeconomic imbalances, made considerable progress on debt restructuring, and undertaken sustained fiscal consolidation while safeguarding social spending. South African political party, the Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, says it will push for an earlier implementation of the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa's amended rules on mobile data bundle expiration. From the 23rd of January next year, South Africa's telecommunications companies will be required to allow consumers to roll over unused mobile data bundles. The new regulations specify that at least one rollover will be allowed under the same conditions as the original bundle. EFF Member of Parliament Sinawo Tambo says the regulations should at least be implemented this year.
12 months is far too long to want to implement this regulation, which is a necessity in the now. We can understand that mobile network operators might need a period to be able to implement these processes, but that shouldn't take anything longer than 3 months. So 12 months for us is far too long. But of course, Parliament is going to be opening after the State of the Nation address on the 12th of February, and we're going to call ICASA to Parliament, to the Portfolio Committee of Communications and Digital Technologies, to outline to us what exactly informs such a long rollover period and whether this can't be amended in the Gazette that has been published.
One of the leading technology bosses has warned that there could be carnage when a bubble in AI share prices bursts. The remarks came from Chuck Robbins, the chief executive of Cisco. He says the AI boom would eliminate certain jobs, but he urged people not to be afraid of technology and to embrace it in their lives.
Every major technology revolution that we see feels like hype to begin with, right? And there's been a lot of discussion about, is this a bubble? And the answer is probably yes, but we had a bubble in 2000 with the internet, and look at where we are today. So the winners emerge, and there's carnage along the way, but it is going to be bigger than the internet.
Financial indicators at this hour: $1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,409 naira, Botswana 13 pula 29, Kenya 128 shillings 09, Zambia 19 kwacha 61. BRICS countries: $1 in Brazil is at 5 real 24, Russia 76 rubles 45, India 91 rupees 63, China 6 yuan 95, South Africa 15 rand 98 cents. $1 is 72 pence to the British pound and 83 to the euro. Commodities: gold is trading at $5,283, platinum at $2,682 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil $67.71 a barrel. That's all for now. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chandruko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Benjamin Mushatama and Palesa Tau on the move.
Umuvumelana
Download the SABC app and take Channel Africa with you everywhere you go.
Trust me.
Kelly, your body, your ten. Man, wanna kiss a caress, yeah. The way you move, no feel like it be different. Me need to know where you're from, girl. Ooh, something must be fishy. Why everything about you, little? Excuse me if I go and I be greedy. Been a long time and time is really tight. Get it understood. I just want your body sleeping in my room. Put on your dancing shoes. Girl, come show me what your waist can do. Be up loud. Can't deny you got me in that mood. Put on your dancing shoes. Girl, make you show me what your waist can do. My baby, move like a goddess. Cause she a 10, she not pretend, yeah. Ooh, baby, one of a kind, yeah. The way she whine, got these other girls offended. Ooh, my baby, move like a goddess. Cause she a 10, she not pretend, yeah. Ooh, baby, one of a kind, yeah. The way she whine, got these other girls offended.
You don't understand the pressure you got me under just from the sight of you. What you have done, you cannot undo. You and I make a silly combo. Let's be serious, you are highly favored. Jack took his time to make this creature. You don't look like you're from Giddy, Lagos. Thinking you're from Barbados. Get it understood, but I got no other mission but to shift your wound. Can't tell me who are you? Why you have to sweep me off my feet like broom? I'm emotional, I'm moved. Tears in my eyes anytime I lose. I'm interested, are you? We go pattern every little thing in my room.
My baby, move like a goddess. Cause she a 10, she not pretend, yeah. Ooh, baby, one of a kind, yeah. The way she whine, got these other girls offended. Ooh, my baby, move like a goddess. Yes, make her the same, take your body tight.
Beautiful one there by Ruga, featuring Ruga Bayani. That one's titled God S. Before that, gave you Tigi with Sands. It's 9:49 Central Africa time. Join us. We're speaking about trauma, truths, love, lies, and how we can heal some of our misconceptions around relationships, so we can build healthier relationships in the future. And these are not just romantic relationships, all sorts of relationships that we interact with throughout our lives. Our WhatsApp line is open. It's +27 83 288 6684.
Across Africa, communities rise with the promise of clean water and clean sanitation. The African Union's 2026 theme calls us to action.
It's about mobilizing real commitments, securing climate-resilient water and sanitation projects, and ensuring that water becomes a driver of sustainable development and prosperity across the continent.
A landmark moment, not only for Africa, but for the global movement for access to safe water for all.
assuring sustainable water availability for every home, every village, every nation. This is the Africa we want.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Benjamin Mushatama and Palesa Tau on the move.
Say it one time, say it two times. All these other motherfuckers, don't waste my time. No time for quanta, I know why. This loving where we don't start yet, it must reach out there. I see my life in your eyes, you beat my heart up. You bring so much vibration, oh well. You are the one I choose. No need to try and guide our destination. I know that you're the one just for me. No explanation, boo. Cause I want you in my life, in my life. I don't want nobody else. I don't want nobody else. I need you in my life, in my life. I don't want nobody else. I don't want nobody else. Nobody, 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 don't want nobody. I don't want nobody. I don't need nobody. Found your loving better than anybody. You were the one I was praying for. All of my life I've been waiting for. You stay, I'll be staying for you, baby. I see my life in your eyes. You beat my heart up. You bring so much vibration, oh well. You are the one I choose. No need to try and guide our destination. I know that you're the one just for me. No explanation, boo. Cause I want you in my life, in my life. I don't want nobody else. I don't want nobody else. I need you in my life, in my life. I don't want nobody else. I don't want nobody else. Nobody, 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 don't want nobody else.
We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628.
My darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, oh. My darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh. Too many fine girls stay for you. But I get it, one in particular, where they close, I'm ready to know, yeah. You know, say man, you know, can speak for now. Got the money, get the vocabulary, where you feel it, man, on me. Some of us say to do me. Sure you walk over the fast and let's see to man on now, baby. We go spray more milk. All I am is the make it more. Coconut oil, no fit to fry or do man on now, baby. My darling, my darling, oh. My darling, 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 seriously, I feel sharply go fight for divorce if you go follow me to my heart, oh my love. Follow me to my heart, oh my love. Yeah, oh. anybody. I'ma make I no catch anybody. Yeah, you cause I feel collapse anybody. I no call ya, they do Teletubbies. I no call ya, Skadu, Alibaba, oh no be vibes, and inshallah, oh I no call ya for this and that day, yeah. I know these small boys, they go December, cause now koto, skitty, pepe, they are saying I me, they do Dorime. Some of us say do Dorime. Sure you walk on, go there for salati, do my baby. We go spray more milky. All I am is they make it more. Coconut oil, no fit to fry, I don't do my own, no, baby. My darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling, oh, my darling, my darling.
This is a big tinny coming through on this one. It's titled My Darling. Before that, Tome gave you Nobody Else. It's 9:56 Central Africa time. This is On the Move with myself, Palesa Tau. Very interesting stuff. And I think we don't pay enough attention to some of the things that happen in our life and how they influence our relationships going forward. So we're simply okay to just move on, almost like on autopilot. And what we do is like we end up getting hurt, or we hurt other people in the process of it, instead of actually trying to understand where some of these behaviors come from, where some of these mindsets come from, and what really influences the choices and how we navigate a relationship. So I think this is a great way to look at it. These trauma truths and love lies. The trauma truths being some of the traumas we may have had in our past, perhaps the communication style of our parents, of our siblings, the people that we grew up around. So, for example, if you know you were brought up when your parent was angry at you, they were not speaking to you, so they gave you the silent treatment. You grow up subconsciously thinking, well, that's a great way to handle conflict. You grow up and then you are in different relationships and you obviously do the same thing. You do the silent treatment, and someone else like,